Now, what deliciously evil thing can I do today? Ah, I have it. It's so diabolical, it might just work. Hello, you wonderful people. I'm Dracthonia, and I'm here to help you in your journey towards your best self, one game at a time. Today, we're going to go over how you can play an evil character without losing all of your D&D friends after one session. Let's get into it, shall we? As someone who's been a gamer, RPG enthusiast, and D&D addict for over 10 years, I wanted to start this video series to aid you in your exploration of how games can help you come out of your shell, expand your creativity, and just improve your mental health all in all. So if you'd like to keep up to date with our D&D videos, smash that subscribe button and check out the links below to keep up to date with all of our other content creation adventures. Right, so I was asked to do this video. I have planned at some point when I worked up the courage to address alignment in D&D because I have quite a strong opinion of it, and I've just whacked my glasses on the mic. As I have such a strong opinion about it and feel like quite often it is not interpreted in a way that allows you to play alignments effectively or true to IRL examples of such. So for this video, we're going to address how you can play an evil character and not be a dick. So from a lot of games that I have previously been in, a lot of games that I've heard stories about, it seems that a lot of people struggle with either playing an evil character and not turning it into someone that's just a detriment to the party, or playing with an evil character and not being put off playing with evil characters in the future. For me, this is a very sad and unnerving piece of information because I love evil characters. I would happily play with many evil characters, but I can understand how this might irk some people. So, as someone who plays evil characters quite often, if not pretty much always, I'm going to share a few tips that I use to play an evil character and not upset every D&D party that I've ever been in. I'm not going to lie, sometimes you may end up pissing people off. It is inevitable that some people are going to have a set opinion about evil characters and they're not going to want to be in a party with an evil character. But there are ways in which you can, with the majority of people, work it in and still have fun while not actually detrimenting your entire group and alienating all of your friends. So how do you be a dick while not actually being a dick? I feel like we need to dabble in alignment categories. So standard TTRPG alignments, you've got your good, your neutral, and your evil. And these are separated into lawful, neutral, and chaotic. And that's all fine and dandy if that helps you. Quite often, however, things aren't that black and white, or people take those interpretations a little bit loosely. And even the books themselves kind of define the alignments a little bit too specifically, in that evil is just anyone who's going to murder everyone. And that's it. Yeah, okay, that's a flavour of evil. Other than some very specific instances that we'll talk about in a minute, you don't tend to have evil characters in stories be nonsensically evil. Let's address the fact that we have lawful, neutral, chaotic. Now, quite often, most player characters seem to go for chaotic, and we all know that chaotic usually is associated with murder hobos. That's just the way things are. But chaotic does not actually mean illogical. Chaotic is more about unpredictability than it is about doing things illogically. It's this, not this.
Okay, you got it? All right, we're gonna move ahead. Sorry to slow you down.
And then when it comes to splitting evil or good into lawful, neutral, and chaotic, it might not feel like that actually suits any character that you're trying to craft. Like, yes, some things maybe you play by a set of rules, but other things you're going to be more chaotic about and more unpredictable in certain circumstances. So it's understandable that it can get very confusing. And people often don't know which one to pick to be an effective character, whether that be good or evil. Most player characters are going to go for neutral or good. It's the vast majority of players. And this is, I mean, it suits campaign. Quite often, unless you have a fully evil party, you're going to be saving the world and doing good deeds and such forth. Neutral and good allows for the progression of most stories. It's very, very rare that you have a evil savior of the world. So it's understandable that there is a bit of a bias. However, the amount of players that I have come across that actually stick by a good alignment and don't do morally questionable things just to get the thing that they want or do the thing that they require quicker is honestly kind of disturbing and kind of makes you question why there's even alignment at all. But anyway, often we veer away from evil, and yet we don't tend to hold players to their alignment. So if they do something morally questionable when they're a good character, I'm looking at you, paladins, they don't get their alignment changed because it's just put into that like wibbly wobbly timey-wimey level of alignment that's like, oh, well, you know, they're not murdering everyone, so they're not evil.
The bar is so much lower than I ever imagined. That's it?
But, hear me out. Evil doesn't have to mean murdering everyone. I know it's a strange and unusual concept, but for me, as an evil character in most campaigns, I like to refer to myself more as useless evil. And this tends to work really well for me to allow me to play an evil character and not screw up plots, parties, quests, everything. So useless evil is basically being ineffectually evil. And the way that you can do this is by talking with your DM to craft an evil subplot that doesn't clash with the big bad of the campaign's story, doesn't take over the entire party's dynamic, that is deliciously evil enough that you get to actually play your character, but not so evil that you're detrimenting your party. Now, I keep on saying about how you're detrimenting your party. Well, being a murder hobo is likely going to upset your party, especially if they're all good characters. With useless evil, we don't want to put it bluntly, shit where you eat. You don't want to be actively working against the party because you want the story to move forward. So there are a couple of things that we can do to make sure that we are doing things in an evil manner without working against the party. It is possible, and I find quite a lot of fun. Bob, what are you doing with that milk? What? No, you couldn't. You wouldn't do it. No, don't put the milk in before the tea. Oh, no. So first you want to think about why your character would do something. Like, Don't go for generic doomsday tropes. No one likes generic doomsday tropes. It doesn't make any sense for a character just to exist, just to do shitty things to people. It just doesn't. Like, we've got plenty of those. I'm looking at you, every Marvel villain ever.
Beg your pardon.
It just doesn't make sense. So why would your character be evil? And how would they go about things? Why would they do something? Why are they with the party? What does it do to benefit them? And this is the key factor of evil. It's not about murdering things. It's about benefiting yourself. And you can get away with a lot of things with this attitude. Would it benefit your character to be in that fight? Would it benefit your character to put themselves in harm's way? Would it benefit your character to go along with the party until an opportunity presents itself for them to steal everything from a neighboring town and become a super rich villain in their diabolical lair of pure and unadulterated magical chaos? Trying to kill your group means you don't have any more D&D. And it's probably going to upset a few people if you try and kill their characters. I mean, some people may be happy to get rid of that particular toon if it's not working for them, but generally people aren't going to be happy if you are the direct cause of their death. That being said, putting them in harm's way over yourself directly benefits you, but doesn't directly cause their death. They did that by fighting. For example, quite often you'll come across a random encounter where an NPC is being attacked by bandits. Now, every generic good character, even neutral characters, generally will go and step in and back the NPC that's being attacked. With an evil character, why? Why would you include yourself in that with no reason other than out of the goodness of your heart? Why would your character go out of their way to put themselves in a situation that they have no knowledge about? You don't know. You have no idea. For all you know, that NPC could be a mass murderer. Why would you jump to their rescue just because they're an NPC and those look like bandits? Or why would you put yourself in harm's way without a promise of some kind of reward afterwards? It doesn't make sense for an evil character to put themselves in that situation without it directly benefiting them. And when there are fights that you can't avoid, is there a way that your character can make the other characters be in harm's way while you're out of the firing zone?
Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
This is where range attacks come in real handy. Or you make a character that basically has nothing useful whatsoever other than for retreating. Trust me, it's effective and extremely frustrating. Now, the most important thing to think about when playing an evil character is how do you roleplay this evil character without upsetting your DM or the other players. You obviously want to advance the story. You don't want to be working against your DM. You don't want to be working against the other players, but you do want to justify why you're doing the actions that you're doing. You've got to make sure that every decision that you make is logical to how your character would play it. The same goes for any good characters or neutral characters. Rather than being the, well, I'm just going to do everything that the DM puts in front of me because that's the way things are, and, you know, that's the story. Think about why your character would actually do that. Reason it out. And at the end of the day, don't make a murder hobo. The world has enough murder hobos without you making another one and perpetuating that falsehood that evil characters don't belong in any campaigns. I hope some of this was useful for you, and let me know in the comments below if you have successfully maintained an evil character, what your best evil subplot has been, or what your worst evil PC horror story is. Once again, thanks to the Kofifi members that support my content creation and help me be able to do extra content outside of streaming. While you're here, why don't you go and check out some of my previous videos if you need some more help with your D&D adventures. And also, why not click that subscribe button and keep up to date with my future videos. As always, I hope this was useful, and I will see you all soon. Say bye, all! No. Oh my god.